Hi, everybody. It's Michael Later here for another wonderful episode of Meet Our Community, which is hosted by the Leadership Inner Circle. I'm so excited on this Sunday night, July 15th, to be entertaining and be able to speak with another one of our members. The whole purpose of this episode, this series, is to help each other collaborate, for us to show what we have going on. Just kind of a way to kind of expand our networks and grow, learn, see how people are doing it across the world. In this particular episode, we actually have somebody that's actually in the United States, and I know you guys did not come on to hear me talk, so I will stop talking and I will bring her in. You guys hold on 1 minute, more like a second. And how's it going tonight?
For me, it's going great. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Corinne, just let us know, where are you calling from tonight?
So I am in the beautiful city of Leavenworth, Washington. So Washington State in the Pacific Northwest.
Awesome. So I've never been there, but I heard it's very beautiful out there.
It is very beautiful out here. Yeah, we're east of Seattle by about 2.5 hours over the mountains.
Okay, so yeah, I can see that. So tell us. It says that your title is leadership coach. Explain that. Why are you called a leadership coach?
Well, I'm really just getting started in this venture. I've been in education my whole career, and 7 of my 30 years were in teaching. And then I was an assistant principal, a principal, and then a director at the district level in both curriculum and student behavior management. So, but part of that role was I had a certification in cognitive coaching, and so I ended up using a lot of my skills in my job from that training I had gotten.
So when you say cognitive coaching, how does that translate to leadership coaching?
It's very similar. I received the training over a period of a year and a half, and it came from 2 people by the name of Bob Garmston and Art Costa, and their whole focus was a different way at looking at evaluation instead of the kind of top-down and telling people what they've done right or wrong. It was more about how do we elicit the answers from them based on assuming they might know even more than we do. So a lot of the skills about listening, making sure that you're paraphrasing in an authentic way, asking those kind of questions that elicit higher level thinking. And so as I began my training with John Maxwell, there have been a lot of parallels. It's I think the same body of research.
So how has now that you have the title of leadership coach, how is that starting to transform your life from leaving the world of education, so to speak, and kind of going into more, some people call it life coaching, some people call it whatever other coach they want to call it, but in this case, a leadership coach. How has that transition been for you?
So it's really, I'm in that process, but it seems very natural, and I think part of it is it's not, I would actually teach some of the skills to lead teachers and principals when they were trying to figure out a better way to work with one another, their colleagues. But then really through, what is it, he or she who teaches learns best. So I found my skills improving as I'd have to look over material. And then again, trying to remember to use them on a natural basis. I mean, not just when you're teaching, but people coming in to your office. It actually might be students. They're, so bright. I learned so much from them. But yeah, even in kind of a disciplinary realm, using it more as a learning experience, with parents, with staff members. So that was my passion. And I realized I loved education, but that was kind of the biggest thing I guess I learned from others and that I was able to share with others. So while I'm transitioning, I guess the challenge is getting out of just the education world and thinking how I might apply this to also business leaders and even life coaching.
I agree. I think that when you take a lot of that experience that you already have and you start doing the leadership coaching, I think is going to relate to a lot of people, especially people in the education world. Now,
Right.
we do have other members in the group that have education backgrounds. We have other people aspiring to be coaches that have education backgrounds. What is
Great.
a piece of advice that you can give them to kind of help them transition from being an educator to becoming a full-time coach?
Yeah, that is actually a really good question. I think in education, at least the way some of us may have been trained, is that we have a lot of the answers, that we're telling people what they have to do, and in a lot of cases in a principal position, I always thought we're kind of middle management. You know, you're trying to help foster the district mission, and asking teachers and paraeducators to do things. And so I think getting out of maybe a telling mode and into more of a, yes, I might know some things, but I bet these people might know a lot more than I do. And so thinking about more of how do I translate that to a better listener and a better, I guess, asker of questions, someone that can really ask thoughtful questions to elicit what they often have within them, and they just need a reflection. So
And there's a moment in everybody's career, their transition. There's a part where they wonder if they should go into another career.
right.
And what was that moment for you where you said, you know what, I don't want to have all the answers anymore. I want to be now a coach to help people achieve their own answers, their own goals. Like, what was that point? Do you remember that moment in time or that moment in a span of months or years where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to start being a coach now versus a full-time educator?
Right. I think it might be gradual, but I know when I first was in the training for cognitive coaching, it was life changing because I hadn't heard things put that way, and I realized really I could be a much better helper if I would actually not only learn the skills but start to implement those skills. And then I think your passion comes from when you've had those kinds of conversations and you both walk away feeling an energy, like someone feels thankful, or you feel like, oh my gosh, I think maybe that was helpful. And that's what I realized. I am sort of an entrepreneur at heart, and I guess in some ways you're a salesperson as a principal, but just realizing that's my greatest joy is helping others achieve what they want to achieve. And, you know, in the process, you're doing the same thing. So I think that was my aha moment. And I had started a side business, and what I'm finding is those same kinds of leadership skills come in handy as I work with colleagues who are maybe questioning what they can do, questioning their confidence. I think we all question our confidence.
Yes.
And so a lot of it's really, what is it? I've heard the enemy is the inner me. You know, we're harder on ourselves than other people are. And so I feel like it's really fun to see that there's parallels in all aspects of life, including family.
Oh, yes. Yes, and I had a question, but I'm gonna hit that last point in a second. But education, cognitive coaching, your side business, one of the things I really heard that made my brain say, "Wow, she's right." That leadership's the same everywhere, in a sense. Like, you have to have those skills. You have to have the confidence to do whatever. It doesn't matter if I showed you how to build a building, I show you how to write a book. If you're not confident, then it doesn't matter what you have going on next, because you really have to be able to bring yourself, bring your ability to succeed to light, because you're going to hit those road bumps.
Right.
You're going to hit those trials, whether it's through the professional life or personal life.
Exactly. And so it's that thought that we can really talk ourselves into different states of mind and trying to really concentrate on what are those things, of course I can learn, but that I might be able to bring to the table when I'm going to go out and do this. And so I guess that's a piece I see all of us, sometimes adults even more than kids, lack. And so, just questioning ourselves or that sort of negative self-talk. So that's the kind of thing I I hope to support others as I'm continually working on that myself.
Okay. And we're going to kind of take this question that I haven't really used yet, and I kind of, like I tell you, I just kind of go with the flow of the
Sure.
conversation. How has coaching affected your personal life? Like, because that's personal growth is so important in what we do. How has coaching now taken your personal life to that next level?
Well, I think it's like so much, the more that you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And so I try to spend a lot of time on personal development and reading and just, we used to kind of laugh because there would be cliche answers when you interview, on incoming teachers or, that I want to be a lifelong learner. But honestly, I think it just makes me realize there's so much I don't know. It's I can learn from others and learn both in talking with others, but in reading. So I try to, my goal is 10 pages of a good book a day. And
Ooh, that's
yeah,
cool.
and really, yeah, and of course, it's great if it's more, but I've been inspired by a lot of educational leaders as well as business leaders. And so I can't remember the question, but but just in this whole transition, just realizing you want to get better and better so that you can be at your best when you're trying to support others too.
Yeah. And the main point of the question was like your personal side, because a lot of times I think as we grow in the early stages of our career, maybe because of our predecessors or some people that before us, a lot of times we minimize the importance of having a personal growth plan.
Yes,
A lot
yes,
of times we just say, well, you have your one side, which is your family, and then you have the other side, which is your personal. But as we grow older, especially in coaching, we realize that it's intertwined.
exactly.
So,
Yes, yes.
like has that continued awareness in your personal growth, is that helping you out with like your side business, with your cognitive coaching, your transition into this new field?
Yeah, actually, it is. And I've had the good fortune to attend some amazing leadership training, and it was really about both how do you plan and organize your life and sort of plan to today or tomorrow before tomorrow begins. And it's included not only taking a look at what do I need to do on a monthly basis and a daily basis, but to craft a 5-year vision, which I'm working on, and from there a mission statement about who I am, and that's sort of what you asked, so that there were some parallels. And then you look at the 6 areas of your life, so your education, your finance, your family, recreation, spiritual, and write down for each month what are the 1 or 2 main things I want to have happen this month. And then our training was, okay, now pick 3 because overachievers try to do them all, and then create SMART goals
Yeah.
out of those so that you can go from a very ethereal, this is what I want to have happen in 5 years, to, all right, these are the key performance indicators that need to take place to reach my month for this goal. So it crosses over now into everything, whether it's exercise, weight loss, my side business, my coaching, consulting, being a more present parent. So I have my hands in a lot of things, but that's been amazing, that leadership training. And then another piece of it was mindset, which is a lot of what we're talking about, and just not hollow affirmations, but really authentically saying, what is it I'm good at? What do I want? What do I want to get better at? And so I've had a couple. That's one thing that's really changed my life, I would say, that leadership, and that was David Bird and his daughter Jenny Greer Bird. They're pretty amazing with that.
Awesome. And I think for the viewers, and this is something that I've learned through reading, is there's something called the wheel of life. And that's where that balance comes in at, because picture the wheel of life like a tire. If anything's out of balance, you're going around a flat tire, and then you hear boom,
Exactly.
boom, 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 boom. So
Yes.
you're actually
Yes.
messing yourself. So you have to have that balance. So
Mm-hmm.
when you start looking at how you're focusing your time, your energy, think about the wheel of life. Think about how you apply that to your overall mental well-being. Because
Yes.
if you're not mentally stable in a sense of you're not organized, you're not paying attention to what you're doing, what's going in your brain, it's going to really disrupt your normal flow of your day. And you're going to
Exactly.
be excelling in one area and you're
Hmm.
going to be horrible in another.
Right. And that's a great thing about doing this on a monthly basis because it may change. Like right now, we're in the middle of summer, so one of my top three was my family and, spending time with vacations and making sure that it's one of the three priorities.
And that makes sense. So, Corinne, for people looking ahead, what excites you about the future and what you're doing?
Well, I think as I continue to grow, new opportunities come up, and so what I think where I might be going, something else may pop up. That's very exciting for me. I am very excited about my business, both the leadership coaching and the side business, and so having a plan, but also being open to a possibility as it presents itself. I think that's really important to have a laser-like focus, but also a flexibility to see that there may be other things coming your way. Yeah, very excited about that. I'm excited about continuing in this community because, I haven't been able to listen to many live, but I've heard two of the recorded interviews that you did. I think Pat and Curtis.
Yes.
And every time I just thought, wow, that's brilliant. I love what they said. Or you start making connections in life. So I value that you're doing this and that there are people we're going to be able to reach out to. And whether it's in like areas or maybe an area I want to grow in, I could say, ooh, they've got some expertise there. So.
And that's important. And that's I'm happy you brought up Pamela and Curtis because they both have education backgrounds.
Oh, okay. Great.
So the fact that you have the leadership coaching, training, and speaking, it's great because that's how I start the videos off. I tell people, hey, this is about collaboration, meeting each other, finding out where you can help each other across the world, not just in your community. Obviously, it's always easier to build those relationships in your community, but let's say you want to travel to Chicago, or you want to go to Cleveland, or you want to go to Africa. You have that chance because you're collaborating and you're taking your perspectives of what you've learned, and now you're adding to that person's perspective.
Right.
And I think that gives so much high quality information that's what people want when they're trying to grow themselves through education, coaching, technology, engineering. They want to have multiple perspectives. I mean, because it's the same information, just different experiences.
Exactly. Right. So this is great.
So yes, Corinne, it's been great. I thank you for all the people that viewed in. They liked it. Make sure you like, comment, and share because through collaboration, we grow, everybody. And that's what it's all about. Corinne, do you have any parting words before we end tonight?
No, I think the questions even that you've asked give me food for thought. And so, big part of learning is reflecting. So I'll actually have fun watching this and seeing how it's going to help me grow in the next few weeks and as I continue my career in the leadership coaching field.
All right. Thank you. You've been a great guest.
Yeah.
I thank everybody for tuning in. I thank everybody for the future comments they're going to put on here. And I look forward to all the collaboration that come from each of these videos because I think and I believe that we will grow as we work together.
Great. Well, thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Everyone have a good night, and we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks.